Hello, friends, and happy Monday morning. Today, I want to talk all about organizing toys. I first want to say this, no matter how organized you are, we will always have to purge and organize our kids' toys until our kids no longer play with toys. It is just the nature of the beast because as our kids grow, so do their needs and so do their interests. So let's just embrace it and let's try not to fight the inevitable. But having said that, we can make it easier for ourselves. And I want to share 3 tips with you today to make your lives easier. The first tip is so essential, and it is to get your kids involved. Well, that sounds great. So what do I mean by that? Well, I want you to teach them that there are actually 3 phases to playing. The first is choosing what they will play with. The second is actually playing with it. And the third is putting the toy away. Yes, that is actually part of playing. Playing doesn't just mean the act of playing, but actually cleaning up afterwards is part of the process. So first of all, you need to explain that to them, but you also need to build that into their playtime. So if you know that your kids are going to have 30 minutes to play before you have to move on to the next activity, make sure you're giving them a 5-minute warning that they can use that time to start cleaning up. Or maybe for some of our kids, they might even need a longer warning than that. And once they get into this rhythm, it really will become second nature to them, which is such a great skill. It helps our kids develop really great habits that they can then apply to other areas of their lives. And it also makes your life so much easier. So depending on the age of your kids, you've probably heard a lot about executive functioning skills. And part of that is really thinking through the process and the steps it takes to complete any task. So if we can teach our kids from a very young age that there are steps to every action that we take, and the final step is cleaning up after ourselves, we are really teaching them a super valuable life skill that they will be able to take with them into other areas. And if that's not compelling, just think about how much easier your life will be if you don't have to clean up after them every single time they play. My second tip is this, and it is research-based. Research shows that having fewer toys actually increases our kids' creativity. So I suggest that you take a pass through your kids' toys and see what you can really minimize. Depending on the age of your kids and their personalities, it might make sense to do it with them, or it might make sense to do it without them. So how do you minimize your kids' toys? Well, one great way to do this is to assign your kids' toys an expiration date. Now, you don't actually have to write the date on the toy, but have a mental list or even a physical list of the toys that you suspect your kids don't play with. And if you don't see them play with a certain toy by a specific date, then that toy can get comfortably donated. And remember this, just because your child would play with a toy doesn't mean you have to keep it. Fewer toys means the opportunity for more creativity. So keep that in mind next time you're feeling guilty about paring down your kids' toys. It's not just for your sanity and to keep the mess contained, but really it does benefit their creativity. And my final tip is to create isolated zones in your house where toys will live. So much of the stress of toys is the creep that they do across our houses. And then it makes our houses seem so much more chaotic and so much messier, even if we're on top of everything else. So if toys live in only 1 or 2 areas in your home, it makes it so much easier to stay on top of them. And it provides the added benefit of showing you just how many toys your kids have. When we see them all together in 1 or 2 spots, it's really very eye-opening how much our kids have. So there you have it. If you teach your kids that cleanup is actually the final stage of play, if you give toys an expiration date so you are routinely purging, and you keep toys isolated to 1 or 2 spots, you will find that managing the toy situation in your home is a lot easier, a lot simpler, and causes a lot fewer fights. I hope you found this helpful, and I did want to share this with you. The next boot camp that we tackle inside the G&G membership is Playroom and Pets. So if tackling those areas is on your list, make sure you are on my email list so you can find out when we are next opening doors. We will be opening doors for 2 days only, and I don't want you to miss out if you've been wanting to get in. So if tackling toys and playroom is on your list, make sure that you are subscribed to my email newsletter. And as always, I would love to hear from you. So share any tips that you have below so that we can all help each other stay on top of this toy mess. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you next week.